Attenzione, iniziamo il Joe and Brian Show.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Joe and Brian Show. Today, we're going to be covering match week 1 of Champions League. We had some great games this match week. I'm Brian. I'm joined by the one and only Joe. Joe, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
So, we had a awesome first match week. So many games. It went from the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We had like 6 games in each day, which was so much football. I missed football while international break was happening, so it's great to have all this football back in my life, but it is a little overwhelming if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, at least from our perspective, we're recording multiple times a week now. A lot of content, a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, more stuff for you guys, so more hopefully more enjoyable content and things you want to hear. Guys, always give us feedback. We're always open to that. So let us know. It's a give and take relationship. We gotta grow somehow.
Sure. And we're always going to try new things in our episodes, whether that's like an editing style, a thumbnail, or just various topics.
So I think we're ready to get right into it with the first few games of the match week. Starting off with Atletico versus our Arsenal. Joe, do you have any like opinions on this game?
Sure. So I was unfortunately only able to watch the first half. And for honestly, that half, Atletico didn't have possession, but they were defending well. They looked very dangerous on the counter. And I don't have the pleasure of watching too much Arsenal because I like my eyesight. But if I didn't have my eyesight, I would definitely tune into more games. That being said, overall, pretty good game from Atletico in the first half. Second half, I saw a major decline just via the stats here. Bri, if you have anything else to say on that.
Yeah, I know. Athletic was defending with their heart. They were in the San Mames, so they had the crowd on them to support. Like you said, they had a good first half. They were defending pretty well. But Arteta is Arteta. He is actually a good manager. As much as people hate on him on Twitter and call him a terrorist, he actually is one of the top managers in Europe. And he is a disciple of Pep. He knows how to win football games. Now here we just saw a classic Arteta win. It was a classic 2-0 win for Arsenal, who came and had 2 late goal scorers in substitutions, both of them, Martinelli and Trossard. Although both goals were kind of shaky if you really take a look at them.
Sure.
The Martinelli goal comes mere seconds after he comes on to the pitch as a substitute. He gets a ball played over the top. He gets a lucky touch. Well, he gets a well controlled touch that gives him an awful setup. But then he recovers so well that he bursts past the last defender and has a 1-on-1 with the keeper, scores it. Keeper arguably should do better. It just goes right under him. But a goal's a goal. And then the second goal was, I think, also like another over the top ball. It fell for Trossard, kind of weird, but he still managed to get it in. Probably had a deflection in it too. So they were scrappy goals, in my opinion, but this is how Arteta plays. He plays to get these kinds of goals because the margin between these two teams is so little. So that's really the difference between these two teams. And just Atleti were just unlucky on the day, and perhaps if things went a little differently with that Martinelli touch, it could have been 1-1.
Well, one thing I do want to mention is no Nico Williams. He is a pleasure to watch too. So, not to say that he would have entirely changed the result of the game, but maybe we would have seen a little bit more from Atletico.
No, for sure. Both teams have a good amount of injuries too. So it's fair that you gotta point out that there's no Williams on Atleti, but there's also no Saka on Arsenal. So
Sure, both are important players. I would like to say though, Brian, you've been to this stadium, if I'm not incorrect.
we've been to the location of the stadium, so we we didn't have the pleasure of going inside or being able to watch a game there. We were in Bilbao for a little bit in a trip to Spain that some friends and I took, and we had a great time in Bilbao, but we didn't have the pleasure of being able to go inside.
Well, one day.
Yeah, it does look very beautiful from the outside, so I can only imagine what it looks like on the inside.
I feel the same way about the Sassuolo Stadium. That being said, should we
All
get
right.
into our next game of PSV Eindhoven and Union Saint Giloy or Galan or however the hell you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this was kind of a shock, but also not.
I
I'm
bet
surprised it started off
inappropriately.
this
I'll say
well.
that.
Yeah, look, this was a hard game for me to call. I would have probably said PSV takes if you had asked me which team wins here, and it would have
Sure.
been solely because PSV is at home. The fact that they lost at home was a little concerning.
Decent players on
So
their team
but
overall.
Union, great start. Shout out to McAllister, Kevin McAllister, the brother of Alexis McAllister, Liverpool midfielder.
I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah, I saw the
Funny part
name, I
is,
saw the nationality, I was like, nah.
he played center back, and he's like 5'8", which I don't understand.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Alexis McAllister is also like 5'7",
Wait,
5'8",
you're not
but
even
he
kidding.
plays
He
like
is 5'8".
defensive midfielder. Yeah, he's literally 5'8".
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, ain't but nothing crazy exciting. I mean, some good goals from Union, which um makes them look like an exciting team. Is this gonna continue? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
Honestly, I don't believe in this organization at all. I think this is saying a little bit more about PSV because if you look at PSV's lineup, there's a lot of really decent players here, like Ryan Flamengo. He's been linked to a bunch of teams, Inter specifically. They have Serginho Dest, Perisic, who's a little old, Pepe, who's been around, and honestly, Schouten. I remember him from Bologna, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but yeah, no, yeah, he was at Bologna. That being said, some players we're familiar with, so it does interest me. I wonder how they'll progress later into this competition. I initially had them trying to reference my sheet before. I had PSV dropping, so honestly, this is in line with my expectations.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I'm just concerned to be wrong about the fact
Sure.
that Union are gonna make it into the knockout when I had them going down.
I also
They
had the
verse
same
Newcastle
thing.
next, so who knows? I doubt they win against Newcastle. If they win against Newcastle, all right, I'm wrong. I'm dead wrong. But congrats to them because they're overperforming like crazy.
No, that's fair. But yeah, not too much to say about that game.
But on the topic of overperformers, the next game, Benfica versus Karabag.
Okay,
Benfica lose 2-3 to
sure.
Karabag.
Well,
W- eh, and
as
I don't even know where to start. There's so
I'll tell
much
you,
I need to say about this.
I'll tell you where to get into it. They were minus 500 people. Benfica was minus 500. I thought, I looked at the team. I'm like, yeah, this is a good group of guys. I'm like, they got a nice new midfield. Antonio Silva's great. I'm like looking, I'm like, this is a good team. They should easily beat these guys. I understand maybe playing away at Karabag could be challenging, but at home, most competent
At
Champions League
home.
winning
At
organization
home.
in that beautiful
Like
stadium.
what?
In that beautiful
Estadio da Luz? You lose in Stadio da Luz? Oh my god. Bruno
two
Lage,
two
he's
goals. Two
they, 2
goals.
goals immediate too. Like
Up.
what?
I felt
Like they
great.
scored in the 6th, in 16th, and it's like, oh, they're gonna wash them like 10-0. This is about to be crazy. And then what? They let in 3. They let in 3, and don't score anymore, and lose at home. This is bad. This is
This is
bad,
bad.
and it makes sense why they sacked Bruno Lage.
And honestly, congratulations to the new manager, Jose Mourinho. I am excited. I am
Jose
excited. I like
Mourinho,
this. I
the
like this
goat,
move.
the goat.
I'm a little concerned because if Kivu flops, like my hope and desire was that he would join Inter in such an emergency, but now
No,
he's been taken.
you don't want Inter. You don't want. You don't want.
It,
A.
if
You
you
don't want
sack a
Mourinho. And
manager,
Mourinho don't want Inter.
that's true. Well, I don't know about that. Now he would have taken the job if offered. I fully believe in that. But we could say
It's
that
too
for
much.
Kivu's doing great, so we're gonna just save that for another day. But yeah, overall, Karabag very impressive. Another team. I think they were one of the first teams I had not making it.
Yep.
So congratulations to them for proving me wrong.
That's really why I'm so mad. It's because like I really had them going down, and then Benfica really just because Benfica I had sneaking in, And after this, I was like, I couldn't be any more wrong.
I will give a shout out to former Juve player Baranachea. I did not realize that he was going to end up at Benfica. I didn't know till this game, I suppose, but he got a goal, so shout out to him. Got to always give
Young
our
guy.
Serie A boys some respect. Also to Pavlidis, the Greek champion.
Pavlidis, yes, Vangelis Pavlidis. We'll talk more about the Greeks in a future episode. We hope so. Stay tuned in for
We're
that.
saving them. Maybe the Arsenal game. I don't know. Food for
Mm.
thought, right?
Perhaps. Anyway,
Yeah.
besides major disappointment in the Benfica game that ended up in the result of Bruno Lage getting sacked by Benfica and the new appointment of Jose Mourinho, I don't think there's anything else to mention about that. I really do think that Karabag are not gonna. Again, this is a one-off. I think this is just they got a crazy result here, which resulted, which was a culmination of Benfica and the management being shit or whatever. And this was the last. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think Karabag are winning any more games anymore. This is it. That was it.
Here's where I'm going to disagree. They are playing Copenhagen, I believe, in their next match at home. I'm not going to say they're going to sit here and win or draw even, but if you're going to go up to a team like Benfica and play some ball, I think we should never discredit them. So we'll see. We'll see.
You're right. We'll see, but maybe not.
Maybe, probably not. But yeah, what brings us to the next game here? We have Juventus and
banger.
Borussia Dortmund.
A banger again. And if you
Wow.
tuned in to our Serie A match week 3 recap, you would have heard a little preview about this, just mentioning Vlahovic's performance in this phenomenal game. Another
Yeah, this
Juve
game,
back
same
to
shit.
back banger.
Same shit.
Juve score 4, and Borussia Dortmund match the score with another 4 of their own. Juve coming in with 2 late goals to steal some points from Borussia Dortmund.
I think these need
at
to be
home.
talked about. This shows mentality within this squad. Where with Inter, I can imagine just it happens once. Maybe Inter fail, but maybe Inter doesn't fail. Maybe Juve succeed. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they've unlocked this mentality that maybe they've been lacking. Where old Juve would always get that goal no matter what. Maybe now they're back to where they were. Maybe Igor Tudor has instilled some mentality into this team. Maybe he's repaired this locker room a bit, Because some of these players are
I'm
phenomenal.
fully sold.
Some of them are not, And he's getting them to perform, and I think that's incredible.
I'm so impressed by Tudor's performance. Before, if you had ever heard me, I'm like, who is this guy? What does he bring to the table? And now, after seeing these games, I'm like, all right, I don't know what he brings to the table. What's actually pressing? I saw an interesting statistic today.
Sure.
Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Saw an interesting statistic which really just helped me understand a little bit more about Tudor's playing style. It's actually the lowest pass per defensive action, which means you want to have a low pass per defensive action, which means that you're pressing other teams really quickly and they have no time on the ball, so they're only getting, like, for example, 5 passes. If they're getting 10 passes, then that means they have plenty of time on the ball to make these passes. Roma, Como, and Juventus have the lowest pass per defensive actions in the league. So that means Gasperini pressing crazy, Como pressing crazy, Juventus also pressing crazy, which isn't something that's typical in Serie A, but it's a little more exciting, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it because that means De Zerbi can come back.
You want De Zerbi back?
I want De Zerbi here. I want to see De Zerbi ball in Serie A so bad.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's doing okay at Marseille. Honestly, I think he should be at a bigger team, but he is a younger manager, and I think it's okay to take these opportunities to see different leagues. Test out your style in a variety of places. I mean, he's done it in Ukraine, in England. He's done it as well now in France and in Italy. Next up, you should give it a try in Spain, and then come back to Italy with a great team. I think there is something to this, because he is someone who you really need to give him time. And if you let him and give him the players he wants, I think he could create some beautiful teams, right? Because a lot of the teams he's been to, he's been forced to make sales. And, look at Brighton, look at Sassuolo. What is he supposed to do in this kind of environment, where you can't build a constant project? You know.
Yeah. So before we get in a little bit more about Marseille and Zerbi, let's wrap up with Juve and Dortmund. This game, I had no faith in Dortmund. I honestly thought that Juventus was just gonna wash. But Dortmund showed that they have that extra firepower in them, scoring four away from home. In theory, they should have closed out the game because they were 4-2 up at some point, and then Juventus scored those two goals at in extra time. So
Yeah.
Dortmund need to clean it up defensively. I don't know who it is that needs to step up and get their shit together, but Juventus proving that they can and that they will. They are inevitable and they are a force to be reckoned with this season.
Oh, and Vlahovic with 2 goals and an assist, just to mention. Yildiz with a goal and an assist. I mean, to think that Vlahovic was out the door not even a few weeks ago. Now he stayed. They were considering a swap deal with Milan. I mean, there's so many things happening, but he stayed, and he's earning his contract now. And I think Vlahovic has always been a great player. He's had bad moments, but I'm glad to see him finally performing to his level, which we always knew we could have.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Tudor tactically. David's not playing phenomenal, which is all right, but
Let him
Dusan is playing
adjust.
out of his mind. McKennie plays good and then plays like shit the next game. But
And
that's why we
Juve
have John
fans do
Mario.
not like McKenny.
We hell no. Yeah, I get them, but John Mario's also on this team, and he's also on my fantasy team. So as long as he's doing good, I'm doing good.
No, all fair things. And Juve are really integrating a lot of youth in their team, where I think we've been used to in the past an old Juve. This team is very young. Not a single player over 30 in the starting 11 or on the bench, mind you. Uh, I think that's really interesting. And I think that's a good thing from Juventus.
Right. So let's now we can move onwards to the Marseille and Madrid game, and we can talk about the Derby because I don't want to talk about Madrid, because they're dumb. That's all they do is score penalties and get calls that they shouldn't.
I mean, as a Xavi Alonso fan, I will ask you, how does it feel that he's coaching a rival?
I He's also coaching my old player, so that's just part of football. It's like he's doing a job at the end of the day.
That's true.
I gotta hope that he does his job well for the sake of his career. I do hate Madrid. Do hate how they win, and under Xavi, they're not playing that well. I would have thought they would have played a little better.
Give it some
I don't
time.
know what it is,
No need to
but
rush yet.
we'll see. Trent got injured this game. Um, Kind of crazy. Pulled his hammy, it looks like, and he might be out for a while.
Yeah, sad to see.
And then Carvajal's dumbass got sent off for headbutting fucking the goalkeeper. Like
Wait,
what even
I forgot about that.
yeah. So but they still fucking cheese and win with two Mbappe penalties with a by the way, Marseille scored with Timothy Weah. Beautiful goal.
Former
Beautiful
Juve
goal.
player.
And former Juve player, but also American. So U.S. men's national team. We got a big World Cup coming up. Pochettino's got some work to do. I want to see Weah in an attacking position like he was in this Marseille game because he looked good. He looked
There's
really
a
good.
there's a lot of American talent floating around Europe right now. Maybe that's a video we look into a little closer to the World Cup.
Let's just hope that Weah also stays fit because he did catch an injury in this game. So, an exciting game. Wish it didn't end the way it ended, and I think the Zerbi got really unlucky. But uh, that's Madrid. That's how it is playing against them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see De Zerbi in Europe, Champions League specifically. So I just hope he gets some more time to implement his ideas. And I don't know. I have them actually getting eliminated, not because I don't believe in De Zerbi, but I don't necessarily believe in Marseille.
Well, speaking of teams that are getting eliminated, not relegated,
Same thing.
we have the we have the Tottenham and the Villarreal game. What a boring game, and what a shame to be Villarreal's goalkeeper, because that poor guy feels like the worst man on the planet. Tottenham Hotspur win this game 1-0 from a mid shot, like not even really a shot on target. It's kind of just like a P roller. A P roller comes at the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper catches it, but it slips out his hands and just
Oh,
rolls into the back of the net. So unlucky. But also, keeper has to do better. And that was in the fourth minute. And after that, it looked like Villarreal could never recover as Tottenham were at home, and the game ended just like that.
yeah, and honestly, Villarreal is a team I have also getting eliminated, not relegated. This result wasn't a surprise to me. I thought there would be a few more goals in it. A little underwhelming overall, but you know what? Tottenham got the result, and that's what's most important in this league format.
I would have definitely thought there would have been some goals. This is like another game where Kudus hasn't really done anything, and he's in my fantasy for Prem, and he's about to be swiftly kicked out if he doesn't start putting some good performance in this match week. So,
Harsh, but it's
I
tough in the
expect more from
leagues.
Tottenham. Yeah, I expect more from Tottenham, but they won, so I can't. I mean, good for them, I guess.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize Javi Simmons was there. That is insightful.
He plays good. He has really like scored like any golazos or anything yet, but it's clearly an exciting player and lots of good stuff to come from him.
Sure, I'm a big fan. But yeah, nothing too much to talk about in that game. This would bring us to Wednesday. In the Wednesday fixtures. First up, we have Olympiacos and Paphos. Brian, I did watch this game. Did you get to catch any of it?
I caught bits here and there. I caught mainly just like the ending.
Sure. This game, guys, I tip my hat to Paphos because they did play a solid game defensively. They were down a man for a majority of the game. David Luiz got injured right away. It wasn't good for them. They were playing with a makeshift back line, but you know what? They held off Olympiacos. And don't get me wrong, Olympiacos should feel a little hard done. There was a couple of chances, but unfortunately, those chances were mostly coming from their center backs, which should tell you the kind of game that they were having. So,
It
unfortunate.
It's a shame for Olympiacos. This is the home game where they were almost certain to get 3 points. They dominated basically the entire game. They just couldn't get any goals going, and uh, this is gonna be bad for them. They needed these 3 points, and now they've got some hard matches coming up. It's
Sure, I
gonna
mean
be
they
hard
they
for them
have
to
the
recuperate
Derby
some
this
points after
weekend,
that.
so they're
Yeah, I
already
mean they
going to
have a
be
derby.
playing. That's rough.
They got a derby with every team in the league. They all
Specifically,
hate each other.
so much. We'll do a Greek special, everybody. I mean, the world of Greek football is almost as interesting as Serie A.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a Greek Olympiacos expert come in and give us his opinion on the game and the state of Olympiacos right now, and the relationship with Paphos too, because there's some interesting lore there we wanted to bring to you guys, because we're bringing you like that deep, unknown iceberg content. We're bringing you some premium content, guys. Elite stuff.
Listen, we keep it juicy. We keep it juicy on this channel.
Yeah, so that game ended 0-0. What a shame for Olympiacos, but what can you do? Move on and try to do better. Next game was Slavia Prague versus Bodo Glimp. Ended 2-2. Joe, you got any opinions on this? Because I don't really care.
The one thing I will say is Provgard got 2 assists, which were both scored by um, uh, Moboji. I mean, I don't know.
What's it? You mean
The
Yosufa Mboji?
Sure. The Senegalese left back of Slavia Prague. He got 2 goals, so there was 2 men really working on this team. As far as Bodo Glimt goes, I didn't really get to see too much of this game. 2 players who I do recognize and respect, I will say.
Oh, was there a penalty? Was there a penalty save?
Uh, that's what I'm seeing. It looks like the striker of Bodo Glimt took a miss there.
It looks like the keeper made a save.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But Berg
so
and
this
Lens
game-
Peter Hogg, decent players, but
This
yeah.
game should have been 3-2 then. Oh, someone fumbled. Crazy.
Very interesting.
Hog. whole.
equalizing goal came in the 90th minute as well.
Well, some points there for both teams. Not that I see either of these teams making into the knockout stages, but
Yeah, these guys are going bye
we'll
bye.
see what
Both of them.
happens. Yeah, I mean, Bodo Glimt is the only one who might have a chance just because it is so difficult playing at their home stadium. So,
Sure. But I believe that brings us to our next match then. Inter and Ajax. Bri, I believe you didn't catch too much of this game.
sorry, hit my mic by accident. No, I did not catch this game. So, Joe, you're gonna have to fill me in. Tell me what's up with your boys. What's going on?
So, for those of you who follow this channel and know me personally, Inter is very important to me. And, coming from a disappointing result with this weekend against Juventus, it was a 4-3 in that game. And, Inter slipped up at the end, as we've seen with Juve and this incredible mentality that they have now found inconveniently. It was important to get a win here, especially for Kivu. This is his first Champions League game. It might only be his 18th game as a coach in general. I'm not entirely sure. But he has not even had a full season. So getting a win is very important. I think it builds confidence in the squad. Both goals came the exact same way. Cholanolu corner, Taram header. There was a penalty shout. It was an interesting situation. So, Brian, I'll tell this to you, and we know how VAR can work from time to time. But Taram, I believe, was into the box, and he got fouled once in the box. Penalty is given, goes to VAR. The ref says Taram pulled his shirt before he entered the penalty area. It was an interesting situation. I mean, I don't think there was enough in it.
That's typical. The rules are you do
Yes.
it where the foul starts. So you often see defenders starting the foul just before the box, and then if they do
Well-
fall, it's called.
Well, the
right
foul
there
was
outside.
called on Terram, which was interesting. That was the initial disagreement. So overall, good game from Inter. There's not too much to say. Sommer, I'm glad that he made the saves he needed to make. He had a stressful
sheet.
weekend. I'm sorry, repeat that.
Oh, I was just saying clean sheet.
Yep, clean sheet, very important overall. Akanji, I didn't really recognize him too much throughout the game. But yeah, solid performance from Inter. Really happy that Pio Esposito started. He was great in his link-up play. He could have had, an assist or two. They didn't go his way. The shots were saved, or they didn't necessarily make it to target, but good chances, good hold to play. Him and Taran both being 6'4", they were just heading the ball to each other, and it was a matter of control. But I think for two large number 9s, it's good result, good performance from Pio. I'm excited that he got a full game under Inter.
Okay. Good for you guys, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next game. Yeah, next game is Bayern versus Chelsea. Bayern win this 3-1 at home against Chelsea, with Chalaba being an unfortunate own goal, Kane scoring in the 27th and the 63rd, and Chelsea having their consolation goal in the 29th from Palmer. Did you catch this game?
No, I was following it closely, but I didn't get to necessarily tune in, so I can't comment too much. I would just say for Chelsea, I have them doing really well this season, and I kind of expected more of a draw. A 3-1's kind of rough. Granted, a penalty, an own goal, some unlucky things, so I don't know if it's too much to read into. I wouldn't worry so much, but I like this overall from them. Chelsea, is this their first time back in the Champions League?
Yeah, because they were previously in the Conference League.
Right. So I think for Enzo Maresca, this would also be his first Champions League games. Something for him to work on. Keep an eye out. Sometimes Italian managers aren't the best in European competitions, as we've seen from the likes of Antonio Conte and some others. But yeah, not too concerned yet. But we'll see how it progresses.
No, I think I'm sorry. I think the difference between the two teams really boils down to the fact that Bayern have a world class striker and
Sure.
Chelsea don't. They have João
Yeah,
Pedro, who's a
he's
great
good.
striker,
I like him.
but he's not the profile like Kane is. Kane's that classic number nine. They
And he
have a
knows Chelsea
classic number
personally.
nine, and that's he does, and that was what's his name, Delap, and Delap got injured, so he wasn't able
Mm.
to be a part of this team. Have do Chelsea have if Chelsea had Delap, and they played João Pedro, both of them, and these two link up, maybe this game is 3-2. Maybe this game is 2-2. Who knows? Maybe Chelsea wins. I think that's really what the difference was here today. That Chelsea lacked that, classic number nine, and João Pedro had to drop deep into the midfield to do build up play and link it up because that's the type of player he is, and then that left the space for well where a striker should be, and that's why they didn't score as many goals as they should have.
Sure. Also, Bayern's home, not an easy place to play, especially whenever they score a goal on you. They play that god awful sound. I don't know if you know it exactly. Maybe I'll throw it in the video if I
I hate
remember.
it.
It's
I
infuriating. And when you're getting stomped 6-0 and you just keep hearing it, it just rings in your ear. Not that my team's ever been in that kind of position with Bayern. We beat them typically, but it is a rough sound to
I
hear.
want. I wonder if any of these players hate it.
Oh, I'm sure if you're like a relegation Bundesliga team, it haunts you in your nightmares.
No, I'm talking about Bayern. I'm wondering if like Kane's like, bro, I hear this shit OD, bro. Like, I don't want to hear this shit no more.
You never know. Maybe they're just gonna start missing at some point. Yeah, very interesting.
All right, this next game, I got a lot to talk about. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just wrap it up very briefly, but it is the probably, I have a bias take, but probably one of the best games of this match week,
Well,
bar
sure.
the Juve game. It is Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. Liverpool
Definitely.
win 3-2, taking a very early lead in the fourth and sixth minute, and then leading for most of the game until Marcos Llorente, him, just him, no one else on this Atleti team did anything. Just him single handedly put two goals into the back of the net. The first one, I would argue that Griezmann's literally standing in like the 3 feet in front of Alisson, and he can't really see the ball. And by the time it goes in, it was too late for Alisson to do anything. And then the second goal from Llorente was just a stupid fucking rebound. But I cannot complain because Liverpool scored two goals, which were incredibly lucky. It was a shot that deflected right into the back of the net from a free kick, complete luck. And then the second one was a well intended ball, and it fell to Gravenberg. He took a fat touch, but it fell right into the path of Mo Salah. Mo Salah does some world class work where he controls the ball, switches it onto his left, finishes it. Most strikers would fail there. That's where Mo Salah excels. But we use up a lot of our luck, in my opinion, in football, where you get lucky with chances like that, chances that you shouldn't score, and you do score, then you miss every other chance that you should. You start dropping Darwin Nunez performances, and that's what happened. We had probably five sure moments where we should have put the ball in the back of the net, and we didn't. And because we were 2-0 up, we didn't really bother about it until Athletic scored and made it 2-2 in the 81st. Then we were like, oh fuck. And thank God for Van Dyke because he scored in the 92nd minute and saved us. Saved us. He saved us. I was shaking like a wet dog, bro. I was so anxious watching this. I wanted to cry. I was like, "Oh man, can't believe we're gonna drop points at home." And I'm like, "We're gonna lose our next game." And oh, we have so much momentum right now, just winning games at the very end. So hopefully we stop doing that and we just start winning them like in the 70th or whatever, or maybe in the 50th. Win them early. But I'm just glad we got the points at the end of the day.
Sure. I do want to ask you a question. I see Raspadori got an assist. Do you have any comments upon his play, just as a Azuri fan here?
Um, Sad to see him come off. He came off pretty early into the match, and that was solely tactical from
Sure.
Simeone because he wanted the extra midfielder and he kept Griezmann on because it's Griezmann. Raspadori's assist really was like he passed the ball to Llorente, like a couple yard pass, and then Llorente ripped it and it went in.
So he stat pad
So,
and got it.
yeah, it wasn't like a crazy goal, but good for him, I guess.
Yeah, it builds
Fuck,
confidence.
fuck,
Can get on a
fuck
start
Llorente
potentially.
though.
Sure,
Yeah,
understood.
but you know how Simeone is. Simeone, he goes mental with his everyone's defending, and he had to sacrifice a striker. It just happened to be Raspadori, so he didn't play bad, but it was a. This is how it is playing under Simeone. What do you expect? It's not going to be pleasant for most strikers.
Oh, sure, that's fair. All good points.
Besides that, you have any more questions? Because I don't really have anything else to mention about Liverpool besides the fact that our fans rage baited the fuck out of Simeone and got him sent off. Beautiful
What did they
moment.
do?
I don't know exactly what the fan said, but he pissed Simeone off and off right at the end with the when the third goal was scored. Probably told him to go fuck himself or called him a wanker or something. And Simeone absolutely fucking lost it. He was like he was in the crowd. There was people trying to pull him out
I
because he's
love
ready
it.
to throw hands.
That's why you
I was
want
like
him as your manager. He is that.
eh,
Oh, I love Simeone. I hope he coaches Inter inevitably. Great coach. I love him. I love him.
the fan was just laughing in Simeone's face. It was hilarious, and the more he laughed, the angrier Simeone got. So I was like, "Wow, this was a successful rage bait. Took the points and rage baited Simeone."
Yeah, imagine some scouse bloke yelling at you. Yeah, you took
Yeah,
that
I'd get
personally.
pissed too. I'd get pissed too. God, Lord
Sure.
knows what he said too. Probably some real heinous shit.
I would love to find a video of that. But that being said, I
He
say
probably
we
couldn't
move on to
air
our. Oh yeah, that's fair.
it. Okay, and so on to the next game, which is the Paris versus Atalanta game. Would have loved to see more from Atalanta, but this was
Well,
just a PSG show.
yeah, I mean, listen, at least it wasn't 5-0. That's all you can say. Um, Karnaseki did save a penalty, so shout out Karnaseki. I'll give him his flowers. Besides that, they just got throttled. This Atalanta team's been inconsistent under Ivan Juric. I think they'll give him some time. But as far as the Champions League goes, I don't expect too much from Atalanta, especially against larger opposition. Against these smaller teams, I think they could definitely play a factor, but I have them just making it to the unseeded round. So this result was not a surprise. Overall, yeah, not too much to say.
Yeah, I mean, this was just that PSG played great. I mean, the individual quality of this team just showed here. I mean, Kvaratskhelia played amazing off the right, by the way. Nuno
Sure.
Mendes got a great goal, caught the keeper out. Ruiz and running this midfield like typical. Hakimi's always getting assists, and Marquinhos was there for steal goal. And this team was also Atalanta was sleeping. They were playing like shit. I mean, they gave away a goal to Gonçalo Ramos, who's just pressing, typical pressing. Intercepted the ball, scored a great goal, phenomenal finish, elite finish actually. But it was sloppy from Atalanta. I think they realized they had lost the game pretty early, and they gave
Well,
up. Not something you would see from an Atalanta team.
one thing I do want to say is if you look at this lineup, it looks heavily rotated. It looks like Atalanta knew the result was coming. I mean, they're starting Daniele Maldini at striker. They're playing Bernasconi, who has never played before in the Champions League.
Oh, Giorgio Scalvini came on and then came off 10 minutes later. Oh,
Oh
that's not good.
no! Oh, I don't wanna.
No,
I don't
no,
wanna.
no.
I don't even
I
want to
didn't know
know.
that.
I didn't know that either. That
Okay,
is tragic.
okay, okay. It
Yeah.
says early October expected return, so maybe
Okay.
it's not bad.
He just started getting
Whew.
consistent form too. Oh, that's rough.
Oh God, got scared. He's in my fantasy team too.
I like that player. I really want him to have a great season, so we buy him. I'm biased though. But yeah, overall,
Oof.
this Atalanta lineup, they knew what was coming, and I don't think too much was risked. Overall, I think they're gonna definitely try to get 3 points in Serie A. They have a tricky match against Torino, which you should walk over, but you got to build confidence in this team, and hopefully reintegrate Lookman at some point soon.
Yeah, he just started training again with the team, so I think the team realized that that's probably an attacking outlet they were missing, and They
Oh,
probably
sure.
all came to terms and into some sort of agreement with Lookman about rejoining training and coming back into the team.
I'm sure there's a guaranteed winter sail to Turkey or something like this in the future. But yeah, we'll keep that story monitored when we do our transfer rumors. Oh, I can't wait for that
could
episode.
could you imagine Oshiman and Lookman linking up, two Nigerian ballers at Galatasaray?
I could in like a 4-4-2. Yeah, I could see this actually happening.
That'd be bad. That'd be real bad. That'd be bad for the economy.
Bad for the yeah, that could cause a market crash in Turkey. Um, that being said, I don't have too much more to say about this game.
No, yeah. That I think that wraps up the Wednesday games, and we can finally get into the Thursday games, starting with Brugge versus Monaco. I know you wanted to talk about Brugge for a little bit.
Yeah. Few things I wanted to mention. I'm a little upset personally. I had Monaco making it to the next round. It was a difficult choice between them and Club Brugge, and I just didn't believe in Club Brugge. But one player I want to give a shout out to, not because he's so phenomenal by any means, but just a personal fan, Filip Stankovic, son of the other Stankovic. Um, Great player. He was sold for 10 million plus a really heavy sell-on clause, and I think for Brugge to spend that money on a youth player from Inter, he's only 20 years old, CDM, very interesting, and he had a decent game overall. So I'm really excited to see how he develops. Interesting player. Besides that, this is a very comfortable win from Club Brugge. Ansu Fati gets a consolation goal in the 91st minute, but
He's
four goals
back.
scored.
He's so back. He's so
Yeah,
back. We're
listen, this is
we're
where
up,
it
guys.
begins.
Barceloneros, we're back. Come on, culers, vamos.
Oh, also, Brian, if you recall from a few episodes ago, there was a young player who I couldn't think of the name. Well, I found him. He's currently playing a right wing, not striker, and he missed a penalty, so I'm already selling my stocks.
Ah, I know. Okay, I see what you mean. Yes, I know who you're talking about. We're talking about Magnus Akulucci,
Yeah, he hit that.
Akiliuc,
He hit that
the French
pronunciation.
French right winger, 23 years old from Monaco. He's an exciting talent. He's worked with Henri before, I think, in the French setup. So, he is an exciting talent. You would expect more from him. And interesting, you mentioned the penalty miss. Simon Mignolet, former Liverpool goalkeeper in our banter era days, actually saved the penalty. Well, he actually committed a foul, which gave away the penalty. Then he saved the penalty, and then he got subbed off later for an injury. So he had a very eventful 19 minutes.
Wow. You think that he forgets about that? You would hope.
Yeah, but hopefully it's not a bad injury. Because if it's a bad injury, that might be the end of his career.
Oh,
Older
I hope
keeper,
not.
yeah, legend of the game, but he's definitely not world class. Not really was world class, but he was very, very good at saving penalties, even in the Prem. So I would say he's one of these like penalty specialist keepers.
Yeah, totally agree. Good player overall. I hope he definitely heals.
Next game, Copenhagen versus Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah,
Interesting
fuck
game.
this.
Very,
I'm
very
pissed.
interesting.
I'm pissed.
Go crazy.
You know, like I don't know why I'd put any dollars on Bayern Leverkusen when I have been doing nothing but dogging this team. I barely have them getting through. They're going through crisis right now. Overall, it's a good squad. They are not going to be competing heavily in the Bundesliga. I think maybe they'll clinch a conference league or something of that equivalent. They need to get their shit together. All said and done, they were able to equalize, but they were 1-1 for a bit. Copenhagen, 87th minute, gets the lead, but an unfortunate own goal by a Greek leads this to 2-2.
Oh, yeah, it was a very just unfortunate own goal. I watched these highlights with Brandon. Shout out Brandon.
Yo,
And
number one
that's what it
listener.
was. Number one subscriber, number one follower. It was just a shot that hit the inside of the thigh of the defender and just went in. And sucks for them, but that's quite literally football. You could argue that Leverkusen could have scored some earlier chances that didn't go in, but what can you do?
You can play the game. That's it.
Next game was a goal thriller. And if you only watch the first
Oh
8 minutes of the
yeah.
game, a very misleading game because we have Eintracht Frankfurt versus Galatasaray, game ending 5-1 for Frankfurt at home.
Yeah.
Joe, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting game. I didn't get the opportunity to watch it, but I was following it while watching some other games on the day. Special shout out to Khan Uzan. I've just discovered this guy probably about a week or so ago. I was looking through the Bundesliga, and I think as any good podcaster does, if you like football, you just go on FootMob and you learn. You just stare at things and you find interesting players. And this guy was popping off for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, goes to the Champions League, gets a goal. You love to see it. Last season, he had also gotten... Oh, actually, I totally just lied there. Last season, he got a goal in the Europa League. This is his first season in the Champions League, so very young Turkish product. They seem to be overproducing in the cam position, as we know, and as Brian and I discussed before this episode briefly. But yeah, overall, I definitely didn't expect this result. Disappointing from Galatasaray. Osimhen, I believe, was hurt.
5-1 is crazy.
5-1 is
5-1
crazy.
is too much.
And Singo,
Like,
very good center back. Davison Sanchez, you can have your opinion on him. Sane is in the attack. They have Turkish Yilmaz. He's great. Overall, this is a solid team. They have Gundogan as well. This is a really solid team. And this result is very disappointing. There could be some other issues at play here, but 2 own goals, I don't know. There's something about that. This is a defensive problem, in my opinion.
I was looking at the defense of Galatasaray. Well, one of the first problems is they have Davinson Sanchez.
Sure.
Get him out. What the fuck? I didn't know he still plays football. And then do you see the right back? Look at the right back. Roland Salai. He's a Hungarian player, and you've seen him before.
Yeah, I've done many a Freiburg career mode.
What position is he? Because apparently he plays literally every position. It says he plays.
Well, when
and
I've played
right
him
back,
in FIFA,
right
I've
wing
used
back,
him right
left
wing
wing back.
cam.
He's
But right, this
left
seems weird.
midfielder.
It's not a right wing back.
He's a striker, left winger, right winger, cam.
He's an
left
attacking
mid,
player.
Left wing back, right back. And they play them at right back. So it kind of makes sense why their defense weak.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some injuries or something happening internally that we're just not accustomed to because we do not follow Turkish football. If you do, reach out to us. Maybe we'll get you on the episode. But yeah, very interesting overall. Disappointing, mostly though.
Disappointing for Galatasaray. I do have them making it up, but that's also with the assumption that they have Osimhen. So if they don't have Osimhen and they lose, not surprised. But I see a lot of potential from Galatasaray. Hopefully they do live up to it, so I can be right and not wrong in my prediction. Because that's all
fair.
I care about, guys.
Shout out to Dino Topmole, or however you say that. My new favorite name in football.
So now we have the final stretch of Thursday's games. We have Man City, Napoli, 2-0.
This game was sad, guys. And I know Napoli's a direct rival, but there's some likable players on that team. Antonio Conte obviously has a special place in all of our hearts, and to bring you through this match, Napoli started off hot. First kick of the game, dangerous. For those first 20 minutes, there was potential. Politano was all over the place. He was dominating the wing until the 21st minute. Haaland's running towards Milinkovic-Savic at goal. Bukema is not focused fully. Di Lorenzo makes a decision. He goes to tackle, slightly pulls out of it, but no lie, a penalty is given. The ref doesn't call it immediately. He staggers for a second. The Manchester City players are roaring. They're upset. They're like, "Where's the penalty?" Stadium announcement cues. Next thing you know, penalty. It is slotted by Holland. Or I totally lied. I just lied, Brian. We're cutting that part.
Yeah,
I told
I
the
was
fake
kind of
story.
waiting for you to.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I was
What
kind of
game am I
waiting.
confusing that with? Wait, hold on. What did I
So
just describe?
guys, I don't know. You're just making up. You're just fabricating false
No.
information and spreading it online. That's what you're doing.
I'm cutting it. Brian,
No,
help me remember. What game am I
I-
thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking of, but what really happened to the audience is Giovanni Di Lorenzo made a tackle right outside the box. The referee called it as a yellow. I think initially VAR got involved and upgraded to a red as they saw that it was a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity because I think Di Lorenzo was the last man. And then Di Lorenzo got sent off. Eventually, Man City do score in the 56th minute, not in the first half, but they do eventually pile on the pressure in the second half, and they get their first goal from Erling Haaland with a ridiculous assist from Phil Foden as he like just chipped it over the defender, and fucking Haaland's there just to tap it away, and wow, what gross! I hate that.
Sure, and I will say Politano in the second half was defending admirably. He was celebrating every tackle. You could see Antonio Conte making this man and Ivan Perisic. I could see him dropping if he ever switched to a back three into that right wing back role. I know he's a little old to be doing all this running, but I loved to see that from Politano. He did get subbed early as a result of the situation in the game, but not an unfair result for City by any means. Napoli did their best, but I don't think this will be indicative of their season. I think if there was no red card, this would have been a really interesting game.
Yeah, I want Doku in my prem team because this is back to back performances for him. He did great in Man City's last game, and today he had an excellent dribble in between. I don't even know who he was. He looked like Buongiorno and Lobotka or something. He just dribbled in between them and got a beautiful shot off, megged the keeper, and scored to make it 2-0. So he's playing out of his mind, and it kind of pains me to say, but it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable watching Jeremy Doku for once, and it's kind of a blessing to watch a player who's fast and techy actually score goals once in a while. Just I hate that it's from Man City.
Sure, I wouldn't know about this. Inter don't possess any players with any of the attributes that you've mentioned.
But speaking of fast and techy players, we have Barcelona versus Manchester. Not Manchester. We have
Manchester
Barcelona versus
Castle United.
Manchester Newcastle United. This game ended 2-1. With Barcelona winning away at Newcastle home castle. Wow.
White Castle, everybody. That's where we're going after this episode.
Barcelona win at St. James's Park with 2 goals from Marcus Rashford. He's there. His first 2 goals for Barcelona. He's here. He's announced himself against an English team as well. He looks exciting, and if Barca can actually afford to have a player like this in the team, I think it's great. But they definitely can't afford him. So we'll see what happens.
I can't wait for the Brian analysis of Barca financials. I think that'll be a great episode.
There's gonna be an episode where I just hire a tax accountant to sit down with me and tell me how fucked Barcelona are for the next 5 years. In 5 years, 50 years. He's gonna be like, yeah, they're pretty fucked. And I'm gonna be like, all right, so how many players are we not gonna register over the next 3 months? Like,
he's like
who's
90%.
not gonna make the cut? Yeah, but
That's a crazy
Rashford
situation.
looks good. De Jong might not renew his contract. He might go to
Inter,
Saudi, which I would
please!
hate.
Please!
Uh,
Please!
I'd rather him go to Saudi. Fuck that.
I don't think he'd ever come to Inter, but maybe this team gets acquired by the Middle East and then something changes. But Inter is for sale. Inter is for sale. I do want to mention that briefly. But I'll save that for a different episode. I take it back.
Who's
Stay tuned.
buying? Who's listening to our podcast and going, bet I'm gonna go buy Inter.
Nobody, but I'm telling you, Oak Tree is because the stadiums got approved for Inter and AC to buy San Siro, which we should probably
Oh,
talk about that
awesome
in
news!
detail.
Oh my god, I can't believe we didn't talk about that earlier. That's
Well, I don't know what's
phenomenal
happening
news.
with it. I need to do a little bit more research. I know they acquired the San Siro and the surrounding areas. I don't know if San Siro is staying put and they're renovating. If they're gonna, I don't think they're allowed to tear it down, or they're gonna build next to it. I think it's very interesting, and I really wonder what's gonna happen there. But Inter and Milan are sharing the stadium once again, which, not great financially, but I do love the overall atmosphere that the San Siro creates. So, hell, if they can renovate it and own it and collect the revenues, I think potentially this is great. But ultimately, I think this is Oak Tree's plan: get the stadium approval figured out, sell Inter. I think they are an investment firm, and they only took over this club because of a bond being failed to be repaid. So, yeah, I don't think they're in it for the long haul.
No, but it's football heritage. You gotta share the stadium.
Yeah,
But
keep it.
maybe both teams start to actually like flourish. Well, actually, maybe Milan will get their shit together now with the stadium shit. Maybe make some money and get some things going. You guys are doing
Yeah,
all right. You guys have been doing all right for the past few years, so
yeah, we made a lot of
I'm not worried
sales.
about y'all.
You guys are run pretty well now. Some interesting signings, of course. Some interesting decisions, but you guys aren't making money. You're selling high to the prem, so not a bad situation for Milan.
Yeah, we just keep selling like every player, every fucking fan's favorite player. Start off with Donali, and then we sell Reinders, and then we get rid
Yeah.
of our captain in the same season. It's like, oh, not to mention we
Yeah.
got rid of Calabria a while ago.
Yeah, imagine losing Lukaku, Hakimi, and Eriksen all and just blinking your eyes. It hurts.
Sucks to suck.
Uh, anyway,
All right,
anything else to say about this
last
game?
game.
All right.
No, Rashford's great. Newcastle, Man United suck. All right. Let's wrap it up, guys, with the last game of the match week, which was Sporting versus Kairat Almaty. I gotta give Sporting their flowers, I guess. Although it was only
Brian was
against
wrong.
Kairat,
Everybody, let him know in the comments.
because Sporting did win this game 4-1, but like it's Kairat Almaty. Like,
I wouldn't want to go there. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, Sporting should win against the Kazakhstani team, but this
At
Sporting
home.
team's a little deeper than I thought. It's got better players than I thought. I really thought they were cooked once Gyökeres left, but truthfully, I don't even think Gyökeres is that good. I think it just
What?
can cater to him.
All right. I mean, there could be something there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how good he does for Arsenal. He's had a good start, so hopefully he doesn't continue to score goals and Arsenal suck. But Sporting are doing well without him. They're scoring goals. They're looking like a threat. They almost kept a clean sheet until they scored. They conceded in the 86th minute. So Kairat got a point on the board. Not a point, but they scored a goal in the game. Nothing really interesting about this game. I lost money on this one. Yes, I did put money on Kairat. I did think Uzbeki and the Kazakhstani teams were gonna upset both the Portuguese teams. I was wrong. Joe, you got?
I think
anything
it'll
else to add about
happen
this?
though. Bet on them every week, and eventually, once they'll pay you at least a draw.
I mean, Karabakh did it, so who knows?
Yeah.
Well, anything else you have to add to this episode of the Joe and Brian Show as we recap the first Champions League round?
Well, honestly, everybody, thank you for tuning in this long. Getting that viewer retention up, I appreciate that immensely.
If
But
you're
honestly-
listening to this, leave a comment. Leave a comment. Hey, I was here for the part where you said leave a comment. Yeah, like verbatim type that. I want to see that.
I'm sorry, I'm sending a text, guys. I'm such a bad podcast host.
Holy shit, you're fired. You're fired. Get the fuck out of here. We're replacing you with Francesco.
Hey, me. We'll censor that. But yeah, Thanks everybody for joining. Stay tuned. We should have a round 4 of Serie A match recap, if I'm correct.
Yep, we'll have that to you hopefully very promptly, guys.
And for the next Champions League round, we'll also be there for that. We're just always going to be in your life, so make sure to tune in if you want us.
All right. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao a tutti.